Lofi Poli Sci, how we doing out there? Dr. P right here out in Lofi Studios, New Orleans. Right into the show on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, email. You know how to find us, people. All right, down to business. We got our wild cherry Diet Pepsi tonight, and we got our blackjack gum, and we got that feeling, that all familiar feeling that someone sent us a podcast. And just yesterday, a friend of mine sent me a podcast episode about media today, and here we are, my reflections of USA's media frames. Popcorn and politics. Media today are boring. Oh, so boring. Media today are predictable. They're so predictable in the USA. Media today are exactly what you want them to be. You watch, you read, listen to all the media that you like, that say the things you want them to say, that say those things because you want them to say those things. And they'll keep saying those things just to keep you coming back. Click, click, chop, chop. They're counting everyone we do. Boring, predictable, exactly what we want it to be. That's media today in the USA. News for you. News at one point in time was all about those things that were new, things that were surprising, things about what's going on in the world today, and bylines to connect us to the most important happenings, wherever those things happened. Because ain't nobody got time to know everything. Simple as that. News was about connecting us to the real gatekeepers of information. Government and lawmakers. And before you say, aren't those the same things? Not always. No, not at all always. But that's a different episode. Government and lawmakers have all the info, and then they slice some of that up and give it on to the media, and then media choose which of those things they like and which of those things that you will like. And that's our news today in the USA. Click, click, chop, chop. You better hurry and tell them what you want to see for tomorrow's episode. Popcorn politics. Do we just sit back in the USA, lay down, and take what they give us? Do we really know what's going on in the world today? Here's a better one for you. Do we actually care what's going on in the world today? And only each of you can answer that for your individual selves. And saying some people do and some people don't is wholly insufficient and not even an answer. It's useless, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And yeah, Shakespeare. And did you know that some people have thumbs and some people don't? Did you know that some days it rains and some days it doesn't? Did you know that when someone says sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, it just means they have no idea what the actual answer is? I mean, if they did, wouldn't they just tell you? Like, are media good or are media bad for the USA? And yes, media are a word in the plural form of the singular noun, medium. Thus, media are. So, are media good or are media bad in the USA? Sometimes they are and sometimes they aren't. That's not an answer at all. That's a frame that someone else created, a perspective on a very specific subject that you should be weary of accepting. All right, it could be, though, a byproduct of us not asking a specific enough question. Sure. Like you say, are media good or bad in the USA today? And the follow-up question may be good or bad for what? Now, if you say, are media in the USA today good or bad for democracy in our country? Well then, as someone who knows what democracy is and how it's defined and the many components of it, I'd say, yeah, on average, media is good. So long as they are passing on real, factual information. The dissemination of false information is not good for democracy in the USA. And before some of you say, well, how do you know what's fact or fiction? And isn't all fact just a perspective? Isn't it just subjective? And really, aren't all facts, they're completely interpreted in different ways? Firstly, let's clear something up. There are facts in the world. Secondly, what you do with those facts is something else altogether. For instance, I'm sitting in a chair. That's a fact. And if you're thinking, well, are you really sitting in a chair right now? I respond by saying, yes, I am. And are you by chance a philosophy major? Then you say to me, why, yes, I am. How'd you guess? And I'd say to you, because I'm sitting in a chair. Oh, I love philosophy. It's where Poli Sci got its starts, wouldn't you know? So the fact is, I'm sitting in a chair, right? That's a fact. Now, is that important or not? Subjective commentary. What's more important, me or the chair? Subjective commentary. Is me getting out of the chair more important than me staying in the chair? Subjective commentary. The fact remains the same. I am sitting in a chair. It's the subjective commentary that can create different narratives, frames which prime people to think about things in a different way, in different fashions, and then they participate in politics in different ways. And that brings us back to media. This is where we are today. There is far less fact-giving news in comparison to subjective commentary masking itself as news. The media frames, the popcorn politics of it all, has increased. Oh, and remember, click, click, chop, chop, give the media what they want so that you can get what you want tomorrow. More subjective commentary, that is, and less fact-giving news. It's our clicks that drive the machine, the media frames in the USA today. Think of it this way. The question of are media good or bad for democracy in the USA is really a question of if we are good for democracy in the USA. Because we are media and we drive the media consumption, and media consumption patterns drive corporate media programming in an attempt to keep up viewership, readership, listening. So if media frames are bad for democracy today, it's because we made it that way. Click, click, chop, chop. Hurry up and make tomorrow's frames. The machine is waiting for you. Dr. P, signing out. I see. I bring it down like